You do not have to be an activist. Hello, my name is Endeavorance, and I am just some dude. I do not consider myself an activist. Yesterday, I posted to the very reasonable and totally okay app TikTok, in which I said that you should be actively anti-racist, and that's the minimum bar. Someone in my comments referred to me as an activist, and that doesn't really sit right. Now, I appreciate the thought, but I've been thinking about this for quite a while at this point, before I even started posting any content at all. I don't consider myself an activist. Yes, I'm talking about some stuff that might be forward thinking, but that doesn't really make me an activist. I don't consider myself an activist because I lack the public policy chops, I lack the community organization chops, and I don't have a history in law. I am just some dude talking at a camera. And if that makes me an activist, then I feel bad for the people who are actually activists, and that title is just being thrown around. And here's the thing, I don't think that you need to be an activist either. I don't think that everyone should be an activist. I think that people who are activists are really impressive and they're dedicating their life to a cause. But not everybody can do that. And it feels really shitty when you feel like you should be doing that, but you know that you can't because you just don't have the time, energy, or expertise. And I promise you, that's okay. It takes a village, right? Everyone in this world has something they're good at and a lot more things that they suck at. And if you suck at being an activist by way of not having the time, energy, or chops for it, that's okay. You're not a failure. One of the many problems with social media, and there's a lot of them, is how loud armchair activism can be and how much it can just feel like you have to be doing something. And if you're not screaming along with the pack, then you're sticking your head in the sand. You're abdicating your duty as a focused and engaged citizen. And that's just not true. Now, don't get me wrong. You should do a little bit of keeping up with what's going on in the world, and you should be aware of what the current discourse is, and you should probably know where you stand on things like human rights. And you should be vocal and passionate about where you stand. You shouldn't let people stomp on the rights of other people that you care about, and you shouldn't just say, I'm not really a political person, because yes, you are. You exist. But it's really easy to look at the footage of people in the streets making real change, and then looking at yourself watching this video from your chair, feeling like, oh, wow, but I do really care about this issue, and I'm not doing that. I must be a hypocrite. Not everyone participates in the same way, and that's a good thing. In fact, it's often better to not participate. And let me dig a little bit deeper into that. I work in tech, a field completely filled with people who think that they have the solution to all of the problems, and the solution is more tech. Crypto. Sorry. Had to clear my throat. There is a borderline meme in my general sphere at this point where something egregious happens in the world, and some tech bro, usually some like startup founder or whatever, is like, I can solve this. We'll do this, this, and this, blah, 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 blah. And they just completely miss the point. And they completely overlook so many factors that if they were an actual activist and had experience in the field with that specific problem, they would know that what they're saying is ridiculous. Do any particular billionaires come to mind when I say that? And it's not just the billionaires. It's a lot of people in tech in general who, yes, they're coming from a good place. They want to help, and they say, oh, I have this skill set that lets me build anything and deploy it anywhere in the world. And like, yeah, that's powerful, but you're not the one that should be making decisions on what should be built. You should go to someone who knows what they're doing and have them tell you what should be built. In the tech world, app development and website development can look like a hammer and everything can look like a nail. And that is pretty similar to how I think most people think. And that's just because people are, I think, generally inherently good. They see a problem, they say, what are my skill sets? How can I help? And that's great. But it's far more important to say, that's a thing I care about. I know where I stand and I know what I can do, but I acknowledge that I'm an expert in my field specifically. So I want to figure out how I can best help by collaborating with others who actually know what needs to be done and can let me know if my skill set is useful. And even on a more direct action scale, let's say that you were really riled up and you wanted to go to a protest and you wanted to set up a stand where people have water and whatnot, and you're gonna help. If you have no prior experience with that, you probably don't have the logistical knowledge of what needs to be done and how to block off cops from destroying your inventory, or where to set up such that if people need help, they can get to you easily. There's a lot more that goes into it. I'm just trying to get in the head of someone who would have to do that. I'm not that person. I can't even tell you what really needs to be done, but I do know that if I were to go try to do it right now, it would probably be a huge mess. The point that I'm trying to drive to is that activism is a profession like anything else. You don't just start on day one and be good at it. You can try to start being good at it, but you should be thoughtful about how you approach it and learn it like any other skill that you would go and learn. And just thinking that, oh, well, I'm good at this one thing, I should be good at this other thing, it diminishes the effort that actual activists are putting in. And that's why I don't like to call myself an activist. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just talking to a camera. I don't know how to go and organize a protest. I don't know how to organize a campaign to fight specific public policy and all that. I don't. I'm not an activist. And that's okay. Be loud. Be loud about things that you should be loud about. Be loud about shutting down intolerance. Be loud about uplifting the people around you. And be loud about coming together and forming a community that fights for its own well-being. Be loud about that. But that's not the same as being an activist. That's just being an active participant in our world. All of this culminates to giving yourself a break. It's really easy to scroll through social media and see all of the terrible things going on right now. And it's really easy to feel like you should be doing more. You personally should be doing more. But we can't all be doing more. Most of us can't be doing more than we're already doing. Most of us are just trying to get by. But there are some people who have specific expertise in this field. And those are the people we should be turning to. And those are the people that we should be supporting. Not everyone has to be an activist. In fact, it's better to give people space to be a better activist than you could probably be in your free time. Support them, help them, engage. Don't not do anything if you really, really want to. Donate, do direct action, volunteer, do all that stuff. That's perfectly fine. But if you are just getting into the field, don't just assume that you're going to go ahead and be an activist. Don't just assume you know what they're doing. They have expertise in this. And if you're someone who really cares, but you can't donate and you can't volunteer and you can't get engaged, that's fine too. You don't have to. It's not your job to fix the world. You can feel strongly that things are unjust and take care of yourself first. That's fine. That's not being a hypocrite. That's just having empathy. And it sucks and it feels wrong. It feels like you should be doing something, but it's fine. You have to take care of yourself first before you can help others. It's the classic airplane thing, right? Put on your mask first before helping the person next to you. So cut yourself some slack. You don't need to be an activist. You can be a supporter. You can be a positive voice, but you don't need to be an activist. You can keep abreast of what's going on, and you can have strong opinions, and you can be loud, and that's good. But that's also probably enough. And if you're watching this and you do want to be an activist, go for it. Please go for it. I encourage you to go for it. We need people who have the smarts on this particular topic, who can organize, who can push us forward, whose full-time focus is making the world better. We need those people, but it can't be everyone. I see the division more or less like leaders and supporters. We need people who can dedicate their time, energy, and effort towards pushing us forward. And then we need people who can surround those activists and uplift them and spread that message more passively and make it more culturally relevant and culturally acceptable. It takes all sorts. It's basically all peer pressure, all the way down. That's all I got. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Be well, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.